Can I take this opportunity, please, to cover some housekeeping points? May I remind everyone present that the meeting is being live streamed as well as recorded via the internet, and this recording archived for future viewing. Could all participants please mute themselves when not speaking in order to avoid any background noise when other participants are speaking? And if a participant wishes to speak, can they please put their hand up by either using the raise hand function in Teams or putting a note in the Teams chat. When invited to address by the chair, please could all participants ensure that their microphone and camera is on to ensure that they can be seen and heard when actively participating. If this is not possible for any reason during the course of the hearing, then please could you bring that to the attention of myself and or the chair, who will shortly be nominated. Please ensure that all debate is raised verbally and not via the chat function for the sake of the recording. And if any participant has difficulty hearing or being heard, please could they bring that to my attention or the chair's attention as soon as possible. I'd also like to take the opportunity to remind all parties present that the procedure for the hearing this morning has been circulated in advance to the elected members on screen. And the first port of proceedings this morning is for me to ask for nominations for chair. So may I start with that, please?
Could I nominate Councillor Michael Morgan for chair, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hamilton. Any other nominations? Nope. Okay, so in that case, with no dissent, Councillor Morgan is duly elected as the chair for the remainder of this hearing. Over to yourself, Councillor Morgan, for declarations.
Yeah, well, good morning all. Thank you very much for the introduction, Amy. Are there any declarations of interest from any councillors present?
None at all.
None at all.
Right, and so we pop on to the meeting then. So I think Yvonne is going to outline the application for us.
If I may, Chair, just to confirm for you and for the sake of anybody watching this morning, the applicant, Miss Ayres, is also online for you. Yvonne Witchell is your licensing officer presenting this morning, but also in observation is licensing officer Katie Brooke.
Well, good morning, Miss Ayres. I look forward to seeing you online shortly.
Thank you, Chair. It's Yvonne Witchell, the team manager for licensing. I'm going to run through just where we are at the moment with the report that is before the councillors, and then at the appropriate point the applicant will present their application to you. So as the Democratic officer has explained, this is an application for the grant of a premises licence at Boulders Culverhouse Cross. The reason the matter is referred to you this morning is because there has been an objection, and therefore a hearing of this matter is required. The application has changed since it was originally submitted. So whilst we have included the original application at Appendix A, I will run through the current application before you, which from the 25th of May, the applicant amended to reduce the permitted hours requested for the sale of alcohol from 12 noon to 22:30 Monday to Friday, 12 noon to 20:30 Saturday, and 12 noon to 18:30 Sunday. The applicant also removed off sales of alcohol from their application, so they are seeking a premises licence for the sale by retail of alcohol on the premises only, and those details are set out in 1.3 of your report. And the further description contained within the operating schedule, and no doubt the Liz Ayres on behalf of Boulders Limited will expand on this, this is a bouldering facility in Culverhouse Cross. They describe that there is a space for bouldering, a reception space, a cafe space, and that the request is to be able to sell alcohol in the cafe area. The application also includes an operating schedule which sets out the steps the applicant proposes to take to promote the licensing objectives, and this is set out in box M of the application form at Appendix A to your report. In accordance with the regulations, the application has been consulted upon, and as you can see at 2.3 of your report, during the consultation period, one representation was received from other persons, and the representation is attached to the report at Appendix B. That is the situation as we understand it. Your powers when determining this particular application are set out within the rest of the report, and unless there are any technical questions, that is the report before you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Jane or Howard, any questions?
No.
Nothing for Yvonne, no, thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Well, I think, do we now hear, please, from Miss, pardon me, Miss Ayres, I think, if she could just outline the application for us.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi. Yeah, so I don't know if you know much about Boulders. This is our third site. We have a site already in Cardiff off Newport Road, and we have a site in Cheltenham as well. So this is our third site, Culverhouse Cross. We've been open about 2 months. And so we've applied for the a license to sell alcohol, which would bring us in line with our 2 other facilities, which also have premises licenses. And so the reason for the application is that climbing is a very social sport. It's not uncommon for a lot of climbing centres to have on-site cafes as well as alcohol licenses for after climbing. So when a person is finished with the climbing and they've come out of the climbing areas, they can purchase soft drinks, coffees, pizzas, paninis, things like that. And they can also purchase a can of beer. We obviously take very seriously the mix of alcohol and an activity such as climbing, which is already a high-risk activity. So there is a very clear demarcation between the cafe and the climbing areas. Once you purchase some alcohol, you're not allowed to go back into the climbing areas. And we make this clear at the point of sale, along with our Challenge 25 policy. We make it clear that you cannot go back into the climbing areas. People generally will have a tin along with food usually while they chat in the cafe afterwards before going home. It's very rare that anyone would have more than a can or 2. Yeah, so along with the way that the centre is set out, you have to go past the reception area to get back into the climbing facility. So we have an entry and exit way which is guarded by reception. So you can't just go into the climbing areas, you have to check in at reception, you have to be registered, you have to pass a competency test, and you have to check in. So we already have pretty stringent sort of rules in place to allow people into the climbing areas. So this would just be another level. Once you're out of the climbing area and you purchase any alcohol, you wouldn't be allowed back in.
That's it. Well, that's it. I mean, thank you very much, Ms. Ayres, for a very clear presentation about the application.
That's okay.
But I would mention I'm acquainted with your Cardiff premises. I've been there with my son in the past, and I know I know it is run as you have explained. So your application is very clear. I've got no questions. Are there any questions from Councillor Hamilton or Councillor Norman?
I have no questions, thank you, Chair.
Yes, please. I've got my hand up.
Oh, you have? I see.
Yeah.
It's right.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms Ayres. I had quite a few questions to ask, but these have all been cleared up, such as the opening hours that you requested. They differ extensively from the opening hours you advertise on your website. And I was wondering, could you just explain that, please? And the second question is, are customers allowed to just come in and buy alcohol, or do they have to actually come in and join your group, so to speak, and some people of the group have to climb, such as where Councillor Morgan came with his family, or can they just come in and treat it as a bar?
Yeah, thank you. So with the first point, there was sort of a misunderstanding on my part when sending the original license. So I had sent opening hours. Occasionally we might do a competition or an event that takes us past our standard opening hours. We might stay open an extra half hour or hour. So I had originally done the license to include those, but on consultation, we've changed it to just the opening hours. And if we do an event, then we'll do a specific request, because we maybe do them once or twice a year. We might do a climbing competition. So we'll just do specific applications for those. And then in terms of your second question, yeah, so it is for our climbing customers. So where we are in Cheltenham and in Cardiff, Newport Road, we don't really have the traffic where someone would come in and use us as a bar. People are generally already on site, and then afterwards, along with a pizza or something, they might buy a beer. So we haven't really had that issue before. In terms of Culverhouse Cross, I was anticipating the same. So yeah, they'd be a registered climber of ours. We'd have all their contact details. We'd have their next of kin, emergency next of kin, and everything. And we can make that a firm rule if you'd prefer. That yeah, you have to be a registered customer of ours to purchase alcohol on site.
Thank you. And also on your, obviously I've checked this out on site online before the meeting. It does not advertise that you have a cafe facility there. So I could not understand why you wanted to serve alcohol if you didn't have a facility for eating. But obviously you've cleared that point up now by saying you do have a cafe and food is available. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. We're still sort of raising awareness of our new site. So we've got a small cafe on site. We're getting a pizza oven hopefully soon, and we've registered with the food standards to get an inspection and get everything. So yeah, the plan is to bring on more food over the summer.
Thank you very much.
No other questions? No, right.
No.
Right. So we're here today, as I understand it, because of an objection from Councillor Godfrey. Is he present this morning?
He's not, Chair. No, he has sent his apologies. So his representations are just those in the written papers for you at Appendix B.
And he's not varied that in any way?
He has not, Chair, no.
Right. Not very helpful, but there we are. There's nothing else, I don't think, really. I think that the next step, Ms Ayres, is that we will retire to consider this, but I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and your company for investing in the Vale of Glamorgan and bringing this facility to Culverhouse Cross, because I think it will be a tremendous asset for the Vale. So thank you for that. And I think what will happen, and Amy will correct me if I'm wrong, we will discuss this, and then you'll be notified in writing of the decision of the committee. So you don't really need to hang around. I'm right on that, am I, Amy?
That's correct, Chair. Yes, we'll bring the hearing to a close now for all parties, and the as the subcommittee panel will deliberate in private.
Because Amy's in charge, really.
Fab. I just wanted to say thank you for your time, and yeah, we're really excited to be in Culverhouse Cross. Yeah, we're really enjoying it so far. The community that have come in have been great, and yeah, we're excited to see where it develops. So thank you for your time. If you've got any questions, just let me know, and I can hopefully answer.
Thank you very much, Ms Ayres.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Bye now.
Right, so we're going to go into private session, are we, or whatever we call it?
Yes, please, Councillor Morgan. We'll just make sure we'll just stop the recording and end the hearing.